around what I would have done if I was in their shoes. I just couldn't understand it. I couldn't understand it. We had been through so much offline and online, more confusing and more painful than seeing someone in your friend group be so kind and so warm to everyone around you, and feeling they have slowly become colder and colder towards you, and not knowing what you did or if it's your imagination, but then the cruel realization hits that it wasn't. It's even more worse than you could have ever imagined.
It's only getting worse and worse. Good afternoon, everybody. Get ready for a fantastic video this Monday. One of the last things I covered was the Sinder Vtuber drama, which I can safely say is one of the scummiest things I've ever covered in the history of this channel. Normally, I don't care about the Vtuber community, right? Because they just mind their own thing and have fat 3D animated on screen, but this drama in particular is so interesting because of like the interconnected web that Sinder had of slandering her friends alongside her manager Red and also a boyfriend, which by the way that boyfriend Red just got the most screwed because not only did it come out that Sinder cheated on him back in 2020, but also he just got fired amidst this drama. Oh my god, dude. Okay, so after Nano and Bao made their own documents, you've had 1, 2, and 3 big people jump into this. So Sinder has just made her own response, which I can aptly call a very, very, very not good apology. Because it just sucks. Also, by the way, I want to say right now, her first response to this was so bad. Because when this broke out, when Nano made her own document, she said outright, effective immediately, redacted, her manager, will no longer be managing or overseeing my VTuber activities. He no longer represents me as a creator, my brand, or my intentions. So she fired him, right? But she doesn't say, what parts he said to Nano, whoever, that didn't represent what she believes as a creator. So that makes no sense. But anywho, we go to her actual apology, which is very, very bare bones, nothing at all. Just saying my apology. Very basic whatever, and saying there's nothing I can say to make this better, but I will try my best to probably convey my feelings, frustrations, and mistakes. I like to explain my point of view and apologize for each party affected. Redacted has been my co-content creator since I began making content, mentioning all aspects of what I do and being a major part of why I'm here. We've also been in a relationship since the start of my endeavors. So were you, boyfriend and girlfriend first, or worker and manager? Which one, whatever. It's no secret that many VTubers usually keep the public and personal lives separate, and I'm no different. As of yesterday, he's no longer working with me, and I have not extensively discussed any of this with him. So, if he says, furthermore, around the middle or wherever, that everything he said, all the bad parts were, inspired by him, all of our friends, being competition, being bad, being toxic, whatever, that was inspired by him, like he was whispering in her ear that they're all toxic, whatever. Okay, but let's be very charitable, right? If you really believe that, why have you not talked with him at all from this point? I feel like you should, and also you would show proof of that. Cause bro, it's so funny. This apology is 7 pages long and there's no evidence, no DMs at all. And I feel like that's bad because she deflects most of the blame onto her boyfriend, and that's hard to prove. However, if you could have a bit of evidence to prove these were ideas from him, that would be better evidence than nothing. And yeah, that's what it is. Just fucking words upon words. Like nothing to show he was a devil in the shoulder, telling her bad stuff. But whatever. Where our personal situation goes from here will be figured out between us privately. I feel like she will break up with him. I mean, how do you fire your boyfriend and still stay with him? It just can't work. I never intended to mention this publicly, but given that claims are out there now, I want everyone to know I'm taking this seriously. After years of working on everything together, his hyper business, bro, this part's crazy. His hyper business orientated outlook warped my view of what it is I should be doing and what should be important to me as I navigate this career path. So it's completely his fault because he's the crazy one. He's the one that loves money, business, not her fault. What are you a kid? Are you a toddler? You make your own choices. I have a terrible work-life. Oh, and as well, she has a terrible work-life balance. She's so busy. She had to lie about her friends like Bao and Shy Lily because she's just so busy as it is. And being around projects and streams all day, every day, made me lose sight of the point. It took all this happening for me to realize this behavior isn't normal or healthy, and it's not an outlook I want you to have. This doesn't absolve me of the things that I've willingly done wrong and went along with, or the way I've treated people who were fully undeserving. Also, but real quick, I want to pull this up because like this is the person that came out proving that Sinder was cheating on Red even back in 2020. It's like, look, there's proof here, of them being sexting, being like e-dating partners, but at the very beginning, it shows very clearly that this is Tashi, that's Sinder, that was Sinder's old account. It shows right here that from the very beginning, back from 2020, she was obsessed with with business, always climbing the steps non-stop. So the point of your boyfriend, like warping your point of view makes no sense, because even back then you were still focused on business. But you skip forward to this part, like there was a part that made me believe that she should have showed evidence, but she didn't at all. In my opinion, she showed no evidence, because from the very beginning they was had like the same opinions and everything. Like she was as toxic as he was, so whatever proof can save her does not exist, because from the very beginning they were both very toxic. But like this part says, I had no idea there was even a conversation about Shy Lily recently between Red and Nano in the regard reading a document. It's true I had confined in Red in that lately I hadn't been hearing from Lily like I had in the past and was worried about something was wrong, but that's as far as it went, and he took it upon himself to try digging for more info. So if you remember, in Nano's document, they were saying that Lily was ghosting her and being a very bad friend. And so once again, she's blaming that on Red for whatever reason. And I was never even aware Nano was ever explained to work on a model for none of my friends. Gary, no idea. I do not condone anything about what Red said about Bao in his DMs either. And him using we and now in this context is wholly incorrect. I believe he was done to gain greater credibility behind what he was saying. Okay, do you have any proof of that? If he came out, to like make his own document, taking the blame, I would believe that a bit more. Well, like not even then, because at that point there would be like a conflict of interest, because both of them are dating. Of course, you want to go against her. My point being that if you and Red had this conversation, then just show it now, to save yourself. But she can't, because it doesn't exist. Yes, Red and I were initially upset when Bao hired my editor, and I took it personally when I shouldn't have. I felt as if maybe my content wasn't good enough, or like I wasn't paying enough for his work, but I accepted it and was happy for him to getting that bag. Bro, in a serious apology, he said stuff like getting that bag. What's wrong with you? And supporting one of my friends at the same time. And yes, I was also upset when Zach, the Bosch's MV editor, had told us that he hadn't be working on any future project with us and would instead be working exclusively for Bao. But Red got in his head that we were blaming him again. It was Bao's fault that it happened, and seemingly held a grudge against her for it. He was very passionate about Boss Rush and the potential future projects around it, but he told me with an MV editor as standard as Zach, the future projects wouldn't reach the same heights, so he created this headcanon that laid down those DMs. I wasn't convinced this was the case, but it's my fault for never speaking with Bao about these things directly to clear things up and letting it spiral to the point it got to. Every comment here was about her own music, guilt tripping, and claims about her shared feelings towards her are disgusting, and I honestly don't know why he saw this way about my close friends beyond the returning over the true things, or why it was worth sabotaging her over. Yeah, once again, if you have any evidence of this, it will really help you, but unfortunately you don't. Like, Nano made like a really convincing point that, any ideas made by Red, they were definitely made by Sinder initially. There's just no other way. Because whenever Nano came to Sinder about an idea, that came from Red, she'd be like, oh yeah, that's right, I told him that, I definitely relayed to him first. So this point about Red, acting of his own volition, calling people toxic and saying that people stole their I just don't believe I think very likely, like nearly 99%, you had the idea first and you told him that, and he agreed with you, because both of you are equally toxic and horrible people. Also, I'm gonna be entirely honest, I don't know any of these people. Silver Rail, Spite, like what the fuck? Like the most people I know are of course Sinder, but Bao, fucking Shy Lily, and that's really it. I know Rain, the most recent one, because that was somebody that was cheating with Sinder. But apart from that, I think this drama, this controversy is so big that it is affecting multiple VTubers. Because so far, I've seen 3 close friends of Sinder come out against her. So God knows how many separate small dramas came from this. it has to be numeral, I imagine. Also, by the way, I want to say this right now, this entire apology is like such emotional slop, being like, oh my god, first of all, oh my god, everything that Red said, I didn't say it myself, he said it. It was all his crazy ideas. So now she puts all the blame on her boyfriend, Red, but also she's being like, oh my god, this work was so toxic, and stressful. I just went crazy by myself. I mean, you'll see what I mean later on, because the last paragraph at the end is just saying thank you to the community and saying like, how much she loves her friends that she was slandering from the very beginning. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Also, as well, she made a comment for Bao, but at no point did she acknowledge the jaw surgery, because her and Red was saying, oh, her song flopped because it was just bad, when in reality, she wouldn't fucking do it at all, because she was draining fluid from her jaw. So that story is completely disregarded, but I'll read it anyways. So, to Bao, since the start, I've always admired you, oh my god, and how genuine you've always been to everyone. I wouldn't be here without you either. So I'm sorry, I just can't handle this shit. So instead of saying sorry outright, she's just, she's glazing her. Oh my god, Bao, you were so incredible. You were so nice to me. I've always loved you. Okay, but how does that excuse, your awful behavior behind the scenes? I'm disgusted with myself for buying into the narrative that my friends were competition. I've never had such genuine friendships in my life, especially with you. We've gotten to know each other so well online and in person. You've already been through so much, and the last thing I want you to do is cause more harm, but I did. I'm so sorry for reaching out sooner about these ideas that were put in my head. I wish we would have been... Okay, my god. Were you not saying before that you had no idea what Red was saying, and that, he was like his own free agent, but now you're saying that you didn't know what he was saying? I wish we would have been able to talk about this too. I didn't know about the severity of things that have been said and theorized about my own friends behind my back. Like, what? It's just going back and forth non-stop. One 360, then another 360, then another 360. I had no idea. I did know. I had no idea. I did know. It's my fault for not realizing the things Red was saying about you. The countless friendships I've made here within the last several years mean so much more to me than him and the business side of things and his way of thinking. No amount of popularity or money means more to me. Fuck off. Means more to me than relationships I built in this community. I've always been myself, whether that be on stream or in person. Oh my god, bro, the copium. And I hope that friends I make can understand I've never condoned this behavior or any of these things that were said about my friends. I've always wanted everyone around me to thrive and find happiness. I can't stress enough how disappointed I am that I didn't see this sooner until I got to the breaking point. I'm sorry. But were you not saying before that you did know in this fucking section right here? But I'm saying that you don't know or you didn't know. Which one is this, Sinder? Wait, what? I went through this section right now and it makes no sense. It goes to Colin and Lily. I think that means Shy Lily. But he said, if I knew Red was trying to exclude specific friends in his exclusivity deal, I would have spoken up. None of my friendships are worth sacrificing over an art piece. I love being a friend and all the memories we've shared. I hope someday you can forgive me for allowing this to happen. What? No, that's such a fucking lie, right? Because if we pull up, give me a second. Because if we pull up the document by Nano, it has like direct proof that she talked with Sinder about how fucking Red was being like, hey, listen, man, if you make more art pieces for the people, it makes the one you made for Sinder less valuable, So please, we'll pay you, but please make less 3D models for the people. So she was told about that, and now she's being like, oh, I had no idea, he's trying to exclude friends. It's here. Go on, give me a second. Okay, look, I finally found it. It's a bit hard to see, but I'll zoom in and post. But he said, not to credit any of your work, because everything you work on is top of the line, incredible. But when everyone is a nano baby, it feels less special to be one, if that makes sense. And she fucking acknowledges that. She even said, I understand what he means, but at the end of the day, it's just business. So you clearly acknowledge it. Okay, so what's the narrative you want? She wants the narrative that she had no idea, it was completely out of her headspace, but at the same time she was like, oh my god, it's my fault, partly, for not realizing sooner. So did you know or did you not know? I mean, in my opinion, I think she knew, right? But now her tactic just makes no sense, because she was going back and forth being like, oh, I had no idea, but also I did know. I mean, her entire character from the very beginning of her career to now in this drama, it feels so fake, so unauthentic. And what I was saying before about this apology being like emotional slop, it's so evident right here, saying, I'm sorry to my pyro pups and my mods for expecting me to lead by a better example than this. Okay, I mean, he said sorry to Rain, Peaches, Spite, fucking Silver, I know Lily, Sack, Bao, and Nano. But then, see, the bow and the gift is, saying sorry to her pyro pups, her fans. Who gives a shit? Yeah, I don't care. I'm sorry to the VTuber community for looking towards me as someone to aspire to. I'm sorry to Kaiser, who's put his heart, that's the editor by the way, who's put his heart and soul into everything he's ever done for me, and not even talking to you about how I felt. I'm sorry to dozens of the artists that have put their hard work into me. I'm sorry for the rest of my friends who I've let down. I've led by a bad example, and I don't expect forgiveness. I've made my own many mistakes over my 5 years of the internet. I'm the only person. Oh my god, bro. Gee, this part sucks so bad. I'm only one person living the one life I get for the first only time. How? Okay, age up on screen. What does that have to do with anything? Like everybody else, as I said at the start, I end up developing an extremely unhealthy work-life balance. Fucking recycling that point. And the harm Red has caused with the way he viewed things is irreparable. Oh my, Red, you fucking rapist. I'm joking. The way I've been perceiving things lately is now how I want to view the world moving forward. And this goes to show there's a lot I need to address and improve if I'm to continue being a creator. I'm devastated that a friendship so special to me, understandably, never be mended again. I love my job. I love all my friends I've had. Thank you for reading. Sinder. Oh my god, bro. Abysmal dog shit, hell yeah. What do you want? A good apology or abysmal dog shit? I'll take the abysmal dog shit. So yeah, once again, her apology was so bad that it was it was objectively funny to listen to, because she barely takes accountability, and when she blames her boyfriend Red, for acting of his own volition, she shows no evidence. It won't be hard to prove that. But please, a small bit of evidence is better than nothing. It's better than, in the fucking 7 pages of just emotional slob and just words and words. So of course, yeah, understandably, everyone in this comment section is fucking cooking her. Bro, and the person on top that replies is our own friend, Shy Lily, that was fucking backstabbed by her. And bro, she cooked her in this fucking Bible, and also she rated her. Look, 11k likes. Fucking 83, oh hell yeah, Legal Mindset, 83k likes, holy shit, dude. And bro, this was, I don't care about the last section, but bro, the first paragraph, she grilled her. The absolute audacity to sit here and continue to manipulate and gaslight is absolute insanity. The pain and mental torment you've caused to the ones closest and most supportive of you has been devastating, and I have never been so heartbroken and hurt so badly for my own friends. You are the fakest person I've had the displeasure of supporting, reading and hearing of how you really view me behind my back, not just through screenshots of your man, but also your very own messages, while you sit here and read through all these bullshit lies you spin, makes me want to vomit. And if you guys remember as well, in Nano's document, the only real named people were just Shy Lily and Bao. And bro, I feel so bad for both of them. Charlie's angry at her, understandably, but in the last segment, from what I've seen right now, on Bao's own stream, she's more heartbroken and sad by this. I won't play the entire section, but it's so sad, It's so sad, seeing in a community where people really like each other, just having one fake person, and when that dam breaks and people see, who they really are, I always feel bad, for the actual people that saw them as friends, because their heartbreaks are always the biggest.
I couldn't understand it. I couldn't understand it.
That's the most I'll play. I'm not gonna play the entire fucking part. Screw that. But the most I can say for Bao, you probably all night, get on stream and cry about a heartbreak or a bad friendship. I feel bad for you, but in hindsight, it's only gonna hurt you more. Just saying. I feel like the VTuber community does have a lot of toxic people. I watched one video on one fucking person, one crazy bitch that was an absolute fucking sleaze bag, just making the toilet very disgusting. I'll pull the video, right now, a screenshot. But yeah, probably that and Sinder, are probably two really bad examples of how toxic they are behind the screen. They will act all cute on stream with, the huge anime tits, but off camera, they just fucking, poisonous rats to everyone around them. So the most I could say, to all the viewers, to all the creators out there, is maybe, have your ear close to the ground for disgusting, foxy people. Because once you talk to the people and friends of your friends, you get a better image, of what's going on and the facade they might be putting on, for different entities, to look better, for also their own benefit. The only thing I feel bad for Sinder is that, if you have a career as big as hers, as a VTuber, and you lose it, it, then you also lose a lot of money, a lot of sponsors. And if I was in those shoes, I wouldn't be, 'cause I'm not toxic. But if I was, then yeah, that would be heartbreaking, on our side. But thank you guys for watching this video, and I'm pointing to you now because that main camera has fucking died, 'cause it just sucks. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time, if I cover this again, if it gets even worse, even more insane. We'll see.